Howdy, one and all, and welcome to the Massachusetts School Administrators Association. It's the state championship for Massachusetts right here on the Play Versus channel. Kendo Slice alongside Hail Monkey Man. How are you doing, my friend?
You know, it's a wacky and wonderful Thursday, a day away, virtual Friday, but towards the end of the week. And of course, Play Versus, showcasing some of the best talent across the entire nation, be it in your own backyard or straight onto the couch, wherever you're going to be playing games. And Kendo, it's an honor. First time to be able to cast alongside you in the booth. And we get to see some of the best Rocket League in the entire nation.
Absolutely. Teams that are representing scholastic esports in their state. And big shout out to Play Versus for bringing it all together. So we have the state finals of Massachusetts. Again, it's the Massachusetts School Administrators Association, and it's Tewksbury Memorial High School going up against Shrewsbury Senior High School. Leave it to Massachusetts to give us a mouthful.
Yeah, this is if you wanted a fun way to say both of these team names, well, then you came to it. You guys, Trooksbury and Strooksbury. So I'm sure I'm going to say it wrong. The berries are filled with the bush, and the bush is plentiful with just some tasty, good talent. And I think that when we finally look into this, it's going to be a battle of just pure business. Because when you look at Tewksbury Memorial High School, this is a team that hasn't dropped a game, a single game across the regular season of this fall 2023 semester. And the last time that they did go against Shrewsbury, because of that, I mean, it's now business for Shrewsbury to finally pick up something that everyone else has left behind.
It's the salty run back, as it were. But one thing that we do know, Hale, is the fact that in high school esports, anything can happen at any given time. It's one of the reasons we love esports, especially the game of Rocket League, because these two teams, they all have a puncher's chance at taking home a state championship. And looking down the line between Shrewsbury and Tewksbury, I do want to say a shout out to the coaches, the administrators behind these teams. For Tewksbury, Sanford Arbogast, and then Nick Crafting. I probably pronounced either of your names wrong, but if I did, I apologize. But shout out to what you're doing behind your programs for Tewksbury and Shrewsbury.
I think Crefton can really feel good about the tongue roll that you gave to that too. A little bit of flair that goes with the programs as well. And look, I was talking about how this squad from Tewksbury hasn't dropped a game. On the other side, I mean, Shrewsbury, they did get swept in the regular season, but also they had all of one game five. Other than that, they've been able to take care of business the exact same way as now their opponent. They're going to have a chance to face off for a second time. We go into a best of seven, a mini marathon, if you will, not best of sets and more, not multiple best of seven, but you get one. And if anything here, Kendo, with this longer foray into this combat across the pitch, that means you get a longer time to maybe decipher something new. And like you said,
Mhm.
for talented high school Rocket League players, that really can render some new results.
Absolutely. One of my favorite things about esports, especially scholastic esports, it is a constant learning environment, both in the game and in the classroom. So you have young folks who have been developing themselves over time, and this is the culmination of all of that. Either of these teams can take down the other, despite the daunting undefeated season we've seen so far from Tewksbury. Shrewsbury definitely are going to be able to put their best foot forward in this one. I do want to say, though, Hale, that Play Versus, and as a shout out to them, they allow you to get into the action. So the question being, are you ready to get into the action? Remember that the enrollment for the spring 2024 season is now open and it is free to compete. Discover the opportunities that PlayVersus offers and get all of the details on the upcoming spring season at playversus.com. Don't just watch, play.
I've been wanting to play for a while. Sometimes you get into the booth and you're like, oh man, do I actually get a chance out there? And it's been a long, long time since I've wiped the old dust off of a GameCube controller or otherwise. Mouse and keyboard, this is more for emails than it is for competition. But still, it's been great to be able to see the kind of competition that we get out there when it comes to the pitch. And in all of a few minutes, we're going to take a short
Yeah.
break. We'll be able to see the exact same thing as Tewksbury and Shrewsbury will be coming at you live and loud. But for right now, we'll be on the other side. Short break. We'll be right back.
And we are back. The wait, very close, nigh being over. Kendo Slice alongside Hail Monkey Man. We're here for the Play versus Massachusetts School Administrators Association State Championships of Rocket League. So, you'll love to see it. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Again, Shrewsbury Memorial High going up against Tewksbury, or excuse me, Tewksbury Memorial High going up against Shrewsbury. Flippy floppy that. I apologize to anyone I just offended. But on the bright side, two teams that have had a monumental regular season. One team got a victory over the other, but outside of that, they have defeated all comers, which is pretty impressive if you ask me.
Honestly, being able to just be the two dominant forces, a rivalry always brews. I got to be down in Alabama at the end
Ooh.
of November, and I got to see some of that similar rivalry. And it was from a another group who they were undefeated, untouched from the previous time that the state of Alabama ran their land. And coming into it, you had, all right, it's going to be a similar expectation. They're going to wipe the floor. It's going to be done. Well, they went to game 6, and there was belief. The parents, the family, the friends, the fellow students, everyone in that room saw stars in the eyes. And then it ultimately ended. They still took first, but fight is there. So is the same here in Massachusetts. This is the Battle of 495, an hour away from each other, Tewksbury and Shrewsbury. It's a battle that continues to brew, and you gotta know here, Kendo, as we go into game number 1 of a best of 7, the same kind of heat is still live, ready, and now loud.
We'll see both teams we have. It is on the side of blue, Tewksbury Memorial High School. And then on the orange side, it is Shrewsbury High School. Going through everyone that we have on the teams. See Capybara, we see Yagu, and we also see, just double checking against my list there. That's a name I did not see before, but we'll be okay. We'll acclimate as we go because Rocket League, nonstop action. First goal.
This one goes streaking and shrieking. As an initial setup, it was a non-stop bit of hard pressure there by Tewksbury as they all corralled in around the CEOs. You know, you hold those 3 letters and you're up at the C exec level. You're expected for Shrewsbury to be able to lead the charge. There were 3 schools, or 3 rather programs coming out of this school. So very deep in the roster and in the talent pool, and they had to survive the early onslaught. But first goal right now to Tewksbury, they're trying to return that pressure.
What I'm seeing right off the bat, 45 seconds in, Tewksbury very acclimated to long carry Rocket League. They are not afraid of controlling the ball from their own defensive zone, and they already have a second goal.
This is a bit unfortunate because the rotation just got caught up on itself. You did have Lingo, who lingered a bit too long in that corner, and they could have had that first touch, but since they were waiting on Big Boost and they had initial one-man responsibility, it just all got caught up. So, game 1. I see myself as someone of consistency. Games 2s and 3s are more of my definition points for best of 7s, and this one is just about getting the CEOs up to snuff to match Tewksbury.
I would agree with you completely, but you cannot leave an open possession in the slot. I am one for hockey, and I guarantee these folks in Massachusetts know what a shot from the slot can be, and that was lethal. Top shelf. They're up 3-0 and looking dominant early.
Oh, yeah, very dominant. And that was a bit of a double commit as well, as they're getting caught up on top of one another, having to answer some of this early pressure. This finally at least airing out to the side. Monkey does get a great touch, and that's actually set up. Unfortunately, Lingo was a step too far, maybe a half a car length from being able to get a nice strike and a better challenge. It's been Capybara that's been leading much of this early attack to really get Tewksbury in the right position.
But I love the fact that it's also a little multifaceted. Whoever's had the opportunity to possess the ball has done a great job of maintaining it. They find each other on midfield passes just like that one. Long distance in Capybara. He pulled up.
Capybaras are actually an alternative food source when you ever want to make burgers. And I don't know why I brought that up. I think I learned that from the wild thornberries. Shout out old school Nickelodeon. But regardless, as tasty as those might be, a shot from distance is just as nice. And so less than 2 minutes here into game number one, a fifth. And Capybara, I mean, they've got a Hattie on 3 shots.
My goodness, I am surprised. That I know going into some of these state championships, we don't always get the full background, but I feel like in under 2 minutes, what we have seen from Tewksbury has been an absolute masterclass of offensive pressure from the middle onward. They're taking possession of the ball, and they are fluid with their motion through the midfield. And wow, there's another example.
Just immediately as they are able to pick up the first touch after a giveaway, they take advantage. They capitalize on punishing, especially when all the CEOs out of Shrewsbury just get forward of their back defensive box. So great job on finding open spaces where some of those doors open and close very, very quickly. And they're actually developing that in their own manner, not having to wait on the CEOs to give it away, but they definitely punish when they do.
CEOs had a little bit of hope there as they were breaking through the midfield. We've seen the possession move forward, and at this point, yeah, 6 goals down, now 7. I'd like to see little microtransactions in a positive direction.
You saying that is a billion-dollar industry, and right now the money's being made, but it's been invested long-term by Tewksbury as they continue to steal any sort of beginning capital out of the way of the CEOs. And the CEOs, I mean, I'm sure they've seen this a little bit before, and they seem kind of caught unawares. This is an attempt to try and jump over the top, but it is just the responsibility from the back line forward of Tewksbury that's really stolen any of these would-be chances. Shriek versus 2, they at least get one away.
Really well done to keep this one forward and out. All 3 members going to be forced onto the defense, and that is high for Capybara. Do they have the double tap? Not quite. I'll be right back down, and credit once again to Tewksbury because they are totally unstoppable when it comes to the pressure out of the midfield. Somebody activating consistently. It's been a real tough go of it for Shrewsbury to get the ball through the midfield, but they finally will do so. Only to have Capybara handle it right out.
What a passing play, too. He had Yago all dimed up, but making sure to stay back because the first man did find a great position out of it. Capybara either getting those shots or making sure that the chances develop behind him. Yago just comes streaking through. Monkey was trying to make it a back pass over to Lingo, and unfortunately, when they separated from the wall, just couldn't get a piece of that ball. We're less than 90 seconds, and I mean, I think it's safe to say Tewksbury's done a lot of the work early here in game 1.
They really have. First 8 goals so far, and I think they are looking and hungry for more. Shriek gonna find Yago! Oh, what a one-timer!
Wow. Monkey just kind of caught looking at it and Shriek to Yago. That is just premium, pristine positional placement as it falls straight to him. 1-2 connection. You didn't even have to cut the corner too hard to be able to go and get it. So CEOs, at this point, you got to think game 1s are outliers. You're looking for scrims to just kind of get a spark of life heading into the next game. And that's really the best mindset you can go with. And that's where some of the experience from the cast, or rather from the coaching core for this program has to get highlighted.
Yeah, credit where credit is due. The defensive positioning, you had 2 defenders in the net. They looked like they were mostly ready, but the amount of control is just exuded. Capybara. My goodness, 1, 2 with the double tap. Go off, youngster. Go off.
Oh, man. Yeah, why not? Find yourself an extra clip at the end of a long yard here as we hit double. So Tewksbury obviously got shooters that are definitely going to shoot. Capybara resetting from distance. And this is something that if you were going to be the CEOs out of Shrewsbury, you got to practice the takeaway game. They finally at least get it from the back line. Scary venture all the same. With a half minute approaching, it has been a rough one. Bit of a disconnect on that pull up, but Monkey at least gets some distance, maybe some life to be found. Oh, but it's picked up. Guess who? Capybara.
It's just been amazing to see how much control they have been able to put forth. Defense, though, for Shrewsbury. They have their work cut out for them, but there's a lot of room on the upward swing. They can carry some momentum into the next game if they're able to get something right here towards the tail end. I'll take the lack of a goal in that last 45 seconds as a positive sign.
You'll take anything, honestly, right now, if you are Shrewsbury. 2 shots to 15 shots and hitting 2/3 of those. Fast caster math, and it all pans out. Capybara obviously leading the charge, only getting 4 to their name, and Yago with the other, but tons of assists. It's a full composite effort out of Tewksbury. Shrewsbury, moments of life, but it has to be so much bigger going into the beginning of here in game number 2, because you think, okay, you know what? Most games, if it gets like a 5-0, you start thinking, all right, GG, go next. You double that, and you're like, that didn't even happen. Nah, the coach is gonna be like, all right, now we play. Hands on controllers.
Exactly. You have to be able to make those dynamic mental shifts as you're pushing forward. Because if you don't, what happens? You end up getting left behind. I think 7-game series potential. Hey, you got to be able to make the adjustments on the fly. In fact, the best teams in Rocket League or in any esport for that matter are the ones who can make the adjustment on the fly, my friend. And we're going to see if Shrewsbury have it in them. And they're going to need that because it was a dynamic statement from Tewksbury in game number 1.
Oh, they just never left him alone. Just consistently driving across the midfield line and just taking it over the double commits, the triple commits. You could tell that there was maybe not the panic, but the nerves were showing from out of Shrewsbury. See if in game number 2, those have been at least preserved. Get your turtleneck, feel a little bit warmer, get that snuggie, and just feel comfortable in your own chair and your own skin. And this is already good first looks because we had a score very early in game 1. Game 2, CEOs at least presenting some pressure.
I have a blanket hoodie from a organization we won't mention right now just because. But if it's a blanket hoodie and it involves Rocket League, I think everybody already knows what I'm talking about. Those things are cozy, and I would not mind being in one right now. By the way, did I mention I love Capybara?
Yeah, a couple times. I turned them into a burger in a sentence a little bit back. Maybe that one shouldn't be re-mentioned, but they continue to have their name up in lights and up on the scoreboard, as I do find the first one here just outside of the first half minute.
Okay, well, 30 seconds in, we're going to do a quick stretch because Capybara is going to find Yago yet again in the slot, and I got to give credit to Tewksbury in the offensive zone. They are doing an incredible job of setting each other up well. Monkey, shot on, will score, and this has a lot of potential going forward.
Slow play, fake him out, get rid of Shriek, and if you can beat the touch against Capybara, Yago has been able to trust in Capybara every single time the ball's been nearby. When the man is finally losing one, you catch him by surprise. A tied game. I mean, that's massive progress if you're Shrewsbury.
Yes, it is, and at this point, this changes the entire complexion. Although you're going to see the passes go harder. Shriek finds Yago again in the slot, and they have been dominant through the corners. Something to note if you're Shrewsbury, just throwing the ball to the corner, the ball's not going to that corner to sit. It's going there to be passed.
Especially with the immediate plant and bounce being done by Shriek. Oh my goodness. They immediately caught the ball, turned it right back into the defensive box of the CEOs, and then it was just dusted. So great job and great just counter punch by Tewksbury, because that one could have been, like you said, the complete change of tone, a much more visceral affair this would be. And so far, CEOs have actually been able to gain so much ground, they just cannot leave any of these possessions behind for free.
Monkey with an ambitious display. We force back onto the defensive foot. And now, for Shrewsbury, we have seen a little more ball possession in the midfield. Plenty of time here for Lingo. Slow plays it over one, but Shriek on the back line is able to take it away. I do like the fact we're seeing longer possessions out of Shrewsbury. It's still a large step in the right direction, Hale.
Just stealing seconds from what otherwise could be non-stop goals like you saw a little bit ago, Monkey makes sure that their second man is all held up, pat on the back. Hey, you'll get it next time, because that one otherwise could have leaked through. Helix looking for one, but Capybara with a handoff directly to the dome of Yago, and it's going to force an awkward position defensively for
Ooh,
Lingo, but all three of Tewksbury ended up in the same corner zone.
it's a very rare miscommunication for this team. It seemed like they were hitting on a lot of those passes, especially out of the corner. This time, not so much. Maybe a small hole in the plot armor that can be filled with a shot or two if you're Shrewsbury thinking about what it is going forward. That you don't want the no-no corner pinch. That's
Mm-mm,
for sure.
nearly retconned the
Oh
entire
my.
lore. Oh my. Okay. You know, these infield passes have been very direct. Yago and Shriek responsible for so many of them. And Yago recognizing that they are not being challenged, why not just go right back to ball, get it to his boy Shriek, 80 miles an hour, top left 90, undefendable.
Got that little bit of teachable moment. You have to make sure you're getting that pressure on. The moment you see two stationary defenders on the goal line, one of them could have gone. Try to phase out that pass, try to read the pass. So activation, very important here for Shrewsbury. They are still in a much better confine than they were at this time in game number one. So massive levels of improvement, and the defense looks to be on point. They're keeping things forward. Pass towards the middle, intercepted. But the defense again will quell it to the side.
Keeping it to the outsides, but it's that narrowed scope that's beginning to squeeze, and you feel a lot more claustrophobic if you are Shrewsbury. From the outside post, and Capybara, oh, played off timing. They didn't go for the second touch immediately. A bit of a step back just so they could get the teardrop through. And this was just taking Lingo out and just dicing up the defense.
Definitely a feels backflip man on the back end of that play. So it hurts, but it happens. All in consequence. 3-goal deficit, 75 seconds still to go. Again, a much better confine than they were in beforehand. Now with a chance to move things forward. Like to see him moving it up as a team. Definitely seen some great individual plays from Monkey. Gonna need a couple of team passes. They start in your own defensive zone. Case in point, here's Monkey. We're gonna push on, lose ball enough for Capybara to get there. They've done a much better job of catching up to some of these loose touches and phasing out what could have been a play. I think they're getting used to some of those corner pass plays.
Slowly sussing it out. Shriek looking for a
Oh
double. My
my.
goodness. Shriek reads those corner walls so swiftly, and then even as they are recovering to possibly go directly on defense, they grab corner and they just take a shot. What a bend around the crossbar. That is a fifth. Hey, only half the total from what they found in game number one.
Yeah.
Still, CEO's a little bit too buried here in this game.
Hey, you know, when you're a CEO, you got to know when to cut your losses. And again, a refresh of the mindset goes a long way. And I think you have a lot of positive momentum that you can look at going into a game three. There's still plenty of time. It is not an insurmountable odd that you're up against. And if anything, you're showing us that you can consistently improve. The defense, again on point, and they are going to end, by the look of it, with just a 4-goal deficit. And you know what? First rule of Rocket League, they're going to keep it up as long as possible.
The attempt was there, but they do find a second game in a row, and it has been a clinic being ran almost exclusively by Tewksbury. This time around, the couple shots were still the same. They were spread out, but at least one gash of difference and one score acquired by Shrewsbury to give themselves a bit of that spark. And when you saw what level of improvement was happening, not only did they at least
Yeah.
limit the damage, they were able to disrupt. And that's something that has to happen more fluidly and forwardly. They allowed too much space. It's okay if the defender's in your back third. That's cool. They're going to challenge you. You have to reach out and challenge them in the same equal, though.
Absolutely. And I think activation a little bit sooner. You might consider one team in this matchup to be outmanned. One of the worst things that you can do if you are that underdog, that person or those people who are outmanned is to shell up and not allow your pressure, your offense, your very existence and being to not shine through. That would be the worst thing to do. So a little more aggression coming out of folks like Monkey, just like that. They're going to have first blood in game number 3.
You know, I heard Monkey talking in the back room. He said, and then he just got that one straight over Yago. And those are words to live by, people. 9 seconds in, CEOs with their first lead of this whole series.
Kowalski, translation. Well, I'm not sure what those words of wisdom were, but I do appreciate them because something's going on. Lingo's got another ball towards the offensive zone, and they are working it together. Not just a solo effort. Ooh, it's 4-9 account. I appreciate the musty flag on there. And getting the feeling somebody has a house account that they're going to. Speaking of the house, this is going to drop right in the slot, but no one there to finish it off. We're seeing a lot of ingredients to make a very, very good game.
Tasty soup. You got to have the chef that keeps it at a nice simmer. And at this point, the key combo has been Monkey plus Lingo. And much of Monkey is that very tasty piece to the smorgasbord that the CEOs are bringing to the pipeline. Helix has been just a tiny bit short, and that's something that you have to kind of overcome at times. And when we talk to Scholastic Esports, you kind of bring your students up to levels to work alongside one another, where their weaknesses and where their strengths really lie.
No!
Oh! And their defense was getting stronger, but they put them in the chaos box.
Gotta make sure your thing is just a little bit further ahead, and this is a tragedy. Lingo and Monkey, wrong place on the wrong time for recovery. That being said, it is 1-1. They're still very much in it, and if we keep this up, Hale, I get the feeling there's a few administrators who are going to have a potentially some Lingo homework. We might be helping them with the English pop quizzes coming up.
Hey, let's let them get to winter break. I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate any extra homework just yet. Oh my lord. But you know, maybe a bit of inspiration, help them not just in the regular kind of on the program, but in the classroom. What a save by Lingo. Hey, maybe it was just a quick pop quiz. It was one question like, how do you save this ball? I was like, I got you, teach, just like that.
I got you. Bam. The entire defense has been working this together, and I'm all here for it. We're seeing learning on the pitch, adaptation as we go. So it's something you can definitely appreciate it. It's something that they can take to the bank here. They're going to want maybe a bank of boost because they're starting to run low, our Shrewsbury. Another boost steal here by Yago. This is going to be set up in the slot, but well read by Monkey. This is a chance to grab the boost and get out.
That was a great bit of just having to weather the storm. And you could definitely tell that they were running low because they just all kept the floor. No one had confidence to be to the back wall and further. And you really go for some of those more aerial attacks, but much of that attack has been kept grounded. Looking for those 1-2 soft connections. Streaks gonna be called off, and Capybara is keyed up. Good idea, good let go, and that's now gonna be a turn of the lead.
Once again, going to the corner, and I love good communication. You can tell that I don't have this. I got you, fam. Third one comes in, and brilliant execution. So now, hard to believe that we are at 2 minutes left on the clock between these two teams in game number 3, but Shrewsbury continuing to show improvement, and I continuing to grow and hope that they can give us a game or more.
Oh, a bit of floor play as Lingo. Maybe some of that individual effort you had highlighted in game 1 and 2. It was brought to life and light whenever we saw Lingo and Monkey at least bring it out from their own back half, and that's where some of those lights really glowed brighter. But it's got to be more continuous and contiguous effort. 90 seconds, Yago, oh, they're able to get over the top. They climb the ladder, and both defenders go. This was simply about getting up there faster.
But what I want to see as the takeaway from this goal, the defense was there. Three separate challenges went through, and they just weren't able to beat out of the corner. The 50-50, also another positive movement that we're seeing from Shrewsbury. Tewksbury has been dominant, but Shrewsbury is showing signs of life, especially on the defensive end. That one's going to be a tough one to stop, though. Shriek in with a shout.
You know, we've been looking so much at Capybara, and I know we haven't ignored Shriek, but Shriek has been so smart about the way they attack, the way they make passes, and just on the key stop, get the soft pop, and then subvert expectations away from this evolving, adapting defense and just now put a new wrinkle in the back of their minds as they're able to move that from right to left. Great shooting opportunity and a demo by Shriek to make it a little bit easier, and away they go as they try to grind out this defense for another minute.
1 minute. Could it be the change of momentum that Shrewsbury are hoping for? I know this much. They've done a much better job of taking care of the ball in their own defensive zone. Monkey all around. I say that, and immediately we see a turnover into a goal. So, you know what? Shame on me. The classic caster's curse. Well done.
Hey, you know, we got to have at least one for each of us going into any given series. But, you know, you had said a little bit ago that this one felt like it was surprised that we were at the 2-minute mark. I actually thought that this clock was going faster. It felt so stagnated when we had just a blur of offense from Tewksbury. And then when we go into this, it felt like it was ticking down so quickly. I was almost expecting overtime whenever we had that score differential. But Tewksbury able to get everything right back in order and make sure to put a dominant feature on what could be the end of a flawless season here for the fall of 2023 semester in Capybara. I mean, they're just stacking up the extra goals.
Has definitely been a rough go of it for Shrewsbury. Ball in the corner has more often than not met pass into the slot. So somebody needs to figure out something, because I just feel like I'm watching Wile E. Coyote go through an Acme catalog.
Oh, 15 seconds. Double demo. Capybara looking for options. No one else is there, but they're just going to play with this ball in front of the net. Force Shrewsbury to find more. And maybe there's one extra instrument at play. Lingo gets another, doubling up the best lead we've seen out of Shrewsbury.
You know what? Got to take full advantage of any touch in the midfield, especially when you are moved up already. Right place, right time, and Lingo takes full advantage of a special delivery from Monkey.
Got to run with all of that going into game number 4, because game 3, Tewksbury 3-0, looking to sweep the semester this season. So dominant, such an authoritative way to go into this competition. 18 shots to 3. Considering what damage has been done out there, the defense got a bit better, and you had that early lead. They just couldn't hang on to it. A lead of 1 never really stands in Rocket League, and Shrewsbury, now it's a fight to the finish if they can provide it, and they have to reverse sweep to take this title.
Yes. I said it was a tall task before. Now it's an extremely tall task. So I'm not the type to be like, oh yeah, no need for the panic. It's time for the panic button. We've seen 3 total goals over 3 games for Shrewsbury, and while I am the voice of hope, I also at the same time need to recognize excellence. When you're looking at a 21-3 score line, this has been Tewksbury showing themselves to be the best that Massachusetts has to offer. We need to see Shrewsbury go Super Saiyan.
Definitely do. 32-0 could be the number. 32 and a wicked O, as Tewksbury wants to maybe ascend themselves to godlike form and just take down any Nappa that may be in front of them. Shout out Nappa. He was thrown away by Vegeta because reasons. But either way, 15 seconds in, Shrewsbury's got to find the excitement. If there's anything that the coaches can tell them, if there's anything that the program can really relay to the players, hey, it's 1 game at a time. Play, lights out, leave it out there.
There's something that we haven't seen very much of, a little physicality. I like the idea behind it, and with Lingo as well as Monkey getting up early. Chance push across, and it won't be a goal this time for Tewksbury, but they are looking to control it corner to corner. Yet it, whoa! Okay, folks, get your clippers out.
Great flip reset gain from the low side corner, holding it for as long as necessary to observe the field for what it is. And this is also what happens when you do not have your backboard defender there available to at least go
Yes.
out and challenge. Everything from the ground makes it so much easier for Capybara to get that score.
I gotta take a deep breath after that one, Hale. That was pretty. I love to see it, but I also hate to see it. Every time somebody much younger than I comes out with mechanical gameplay that I couldn't help dream about, my molasses reflexes and all. So beautiful stuff out of the corner. It's been a veritable masterclass. I compared it to Wile E. Coyote trying to go through the entire Acme catalog on what are we going to do to catch this Roadrunner. But the Roadrunners are nowhere to be found at this point. They are doing fantastic. Minute and a half gone by. Does Monkey have this? Pinch down on the ground. Takes two defenders to keep that one out.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. There was two challenges that were actually very timely, and on a double commit, the availability to really capitalize was there, but they can't find those 50s. And that's where some of these reads are happening just a tick and a half faster than what Shrewsbury is ready for. Capybara chucks it from distance, is looking for big boosts to maybe come through. They find it from the wall, and Lingo, as they are pressured by Shriek over the midfield line, gives some space. And this is where some of those brief moments of miracles have manifested for Shrewsbury. Helix doesn't get the best of it. Can't get any of it is Monkey, and Shriek with the double, not quite there. Then they're looking for squishy saves and wide open attempts. They can't make connections.
I appreciate this. I go for a squishy save every now and then, and Lingo looking pretty on target, just not able to stretch out and achieve the greatness that is the squishy from the back of the net. We see halftime. We see yet another dominant display by Tewksbury, and if you are Shrewsbury, you don't want them to have another goal. You've only scored 3 the entire series, and I don't want to say 2 goals is an insurmountable lead, but they have to show me something.
They got to get, right here. This would have been a great pickup by Monkey, but you and I, we got old man hands, we got the crinkly knuckles, and this is fresh and amazing talent coming out of the side of Tewksbury and Shrewsbury. I love this challenge. Lingo has a chance, but it's actually just an extension too far. Monkey's gonna already be climbing up this wall. Oh, no read. Capybara over the top, flip reset over the end, and then he finishes it with a double from the crossbar, putting that in the old clip collection.
I'm pretty sure this is all copyrighted, but okay, they pull up. It's the after party. Oh my goodness! What was that? You can't do that in a championship game.
Says who? Says you?
Says who? Yes. Says somebody who doesn't even matter. Hell, that was pretty.
The person saying that is the person that can't do that. That's me, that's you, that's everyone else. Maybe the parents like, please no, they had families, we let them go. 1:30, CEOs, Monkey trying to get something going. Capybara already on a recovery, looking for a flip reset challenge. Now Monkey just wants to move it at least more lateral, get it away from the extension of Tewksbury. Lingo to the sidewall, Monkey trying to play with time, and now they have to rely and relax with Helix as 70 seconds approach, and we're just seconds in that away from a very, very good final. And of course, a very finalized semester being all wrapped up by Tewksbury.
And you said seconds, and there are 55 of them that remain. And I think at this point, Tewksbury, they're going into more of a celebration mode. They can't take it too easy, though, because there's threat from Monkey. There's threat from Lingo on the defensive end. But Capybara, again, gonna Capybara it.
Good cap on the season. An entire capstone of this just authoritative position that they've been able to place themselves in. Sometimes number 1 seeds, they have a target that is just too heavy for their shoulders to bear across an entire season. That is not to be true nor said in earnest of this squad from Tewksbury. Even on a possible defensive blunder, they show that they can adapt, overcome, and recover.
Once again, working the ball through the midfield, not afraid to back pass it to each other, just once again exuding control at every corner while still remaining a threat off of the backboard. See another shot on net. It's Lingo with the save, but it's a celebration at this point. Tewksbury Memorial High School, you are the Massachusetts School Administrator Association High School champions.
A job well done. And they knew it. We knew it. Everyone now has it cemented that they just came out and played their hearts out. 10 shots to 3, consistently limiting any offense that the CEOs could drum up a couple times. In one brief moment, CEOs had that fight in them, that dog in them. That game number 3 looked the most promising, and then it all just kind of fluttered away. But Kendo, this is a really good squad coming out of Massachusetts, and you know that this squad probably takes on all comers, all competition, especially and maybe even cross-state competition. This is a really talented group.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. And Shrewsbury, by no means is this an indication of, oh, they got swept in the finals. No, they're not bad. This is
Yeah.
a team that only lost once in their regular season and beyond, and now they make it to a state high school championship game. Do they get it handed to them? Yes, but this Tewksbury Memorial High School squad, by the look of it, if I had to say they have national aspirations, this is a team that looks very good on a national level. By the
Oh yeah.
just my first impression. Capybara's got a posterizer moment there.
Just just clinical. I mean,
Mhm.
21. Let me do quick math. They were able to just
Yeah.
dominate every single game they played. Able to bring it to the likes of Shrewsbury. Tewksbury has a great program behind them, in front of them, and all sides. You know that they can find the talent not just within their school, but within these students. And Kendo, I mean, we get to see even more of it here tonight as Play Versus isn't done with their broadcast.
No, they are not. So, folks, we do not want to go away because after the break, we're going to be switching over to Smash. I'll be joining you alongside, if I remember right, it's my friend Dan Orbital, and we will be right back after the break.